Ravenswood, a name that once conjured images of quaint cottages and friendly smiles, now whispered on the wind like a mournful dirge. Gone were the days of laughter echoing through the cobblestone streets, replaced by an unsettling silence that clung to the town like a shroud. The heart of Ravenswood had grown cold, its lifeblood drained by an unseen terror that stalked the shadows. It began with the children, the once vibrant colours of Ravenswood. The cheerful yellows and blues of painted doors, the crimson hues of climbing roses, now seemed muted, as if bleached by an unseen hand. Even the sun seemed hesitant to pierce the oppressive gloom that had settled over the town, its rays struggling to penetrate the ever-present fog that clung to Ravenswood like a phantom's breath. The laughter of children, once a familiar melody, had been silenced, replaced by an unnerving stillness that amplified every creak of a floorboard and rustle of leaves. The woods bordering Ravenswood had always been a place of wonder for the town's children. A sprawling expanse of ancient oaks and whispering pines, it was a realm of imagination, where sunlight dripped through the canopy and fallen logs transformed into pirate ships. It was here, amidst the familiar trees and sun-dappled paths, that the children were last seen. Emily, with her bright eyes and infectious giggle, chased butterflies with reckless abandon, her laughter echoing through the silent woods. Young Thomas, ever the adventurer, trailed behind, his pockets overflowing with pine cones and smooth skipping stones. Little Lily, clutching her worn teddy bear, stumbled to keep up, her tiny legs struggling to navigate the uneven terrain. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows that danced ominously amongst the trees. The children, engrossed in their games, seemed oblivious to the encroaching darkness, their laughter a fading echo in the deepening twilight. Then, silence. The woods, once alive with their joyous cries, held only the whisper of wind through the trees and the rustle of unseen creatures. The children were gone, vanished without a trace, swallowed by the very woods that had always been their sanctuary. Panic spread through Ravenswood like wildfire, consuming the last vestiges of hope with each passing hour. Search parties, their faces etched with worry, combed the woods relentlessly, their desperate calls echoing unanswered through the dense undergrowth. The children were gone, their laughter silenced, their absence leaving an aching void in the heart of the town. Days turned into weeks, hope fading with each setting sun. The townsfolk, their faces etched with worry and despair, huddled together in hushed whispers, their words doing little to soothe the gnawing fear that had taken root in their hearts. The once familiar woods, now shrouded in an ominous silence, were avoided, the laughter of children replaced by the mournful cries of crows. The parents, their faces etched with grief and desperation, clung to fading hope, their eyes searching every shadow, every whisper of wind for a sign of their beloved children. But the woods remained silent, their secrets buried deep beneath a canopy of whispering leaves. The once vibrant community of Ravenswood, now cloaked in a palpable fear, began to crumble under the weight of its shared grief, the unanswered question of what happened to the children echoing in the silence. As the adults of Ravenswood succumbed to despair, a spark of defiance ignited in the hearts of its youth. A group of teenagers, their youthful curiosity outweighing their fear, made a pact to uncover the truth behind the disappearances. There was Liam, the skeptical one, his logical mind struggling to comprehend the unexplainable. Next to him stood Maya, her intuition sharp as a tack, her eyes reflecting a mixture of fear and determination. Rounding out their trio was Daniel, the quiet observer, his silence concealing a keen intellect and an unshakable loyalty to his friends. Bound by a shared sense of loss and a thirst for answers, they embarked on their clandestine investigation, their youthful naivete blinding them to the darkness that awaited. They met in secret, their whispers a stark contrast to the oppressive silence that had descended upon Ravenswood. Poring over faded maps and local lore, they searched for any shred of information that could lead them to the missing children. Driven by a potent mix of adolescent curiosity and a yearning to restore their town to its former glory, they delved deeper into the mystery, unaware of the sinister path they were about to tread. The woods, once a source of comfort and adventure, now loomed large in their imaginations, a dark and unknowable entity that held the key to their town's sorrow and their own uncertain fate. Their search led them to the outskirts of Ravenswood, to a dilapidated manor swallowed by overgrown ivy and shrouded in an eerie silence. The Blackwood Manor, as it was known, had been abandoned for decades, its crumbling facade and vacant windows whispering tales of forgotten tragedies. Locals spoke of the manor in hushed tones, claiming it to be cursed, a place where darkness lingered and whispers taunted the wind. Undeterred by the stories and the growing sense of unease that clung to the air like cobwebs, the teenagers cautiously approached the manor, their hearts pounding in unison with each step that brought them closer to the unknown. The air grew heavy, thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves. A murder of crows took flight as they neared the manor, their raucous cries a discordant symphony that sent shivers down their spines. As they stepped onto the overgrown path leading to the front door, they felt a sudden chill, a palpable shift in the atmosphere, as if an unseen presence was watching their every move. The whispers seemed to intensify, slithering through the air like phantom serpents, their voices a chilling chorus of despair and warning. Ignorance, however, had a peculiar way of emboldening the young and the curious, and so they pressed on, their youthful bravado a flimsy shield against the encroaching darkness. The interior of the manor was a testament to time's relentless decay. Dust-covered furniture stood frozen in a tableau of forgotten lives, their shadows dancing ominously in the faint light that filtered through cracks in the boarded-up windows. As the teenagers ventured deeper into the heart of the manor, their footsteps echoing in the oppressive silence, the whispers grew louder, morphing into distinct voices that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. A sudden crash from the floor above sent a jolt of fear through their hearts, their eyes darting to the source of the sound, their breath catching in their throats. There, at the end of the hallway, a figure materialized from the shadows. Tall and gaunt, its limbs were impossibly long and thin, its skin stretched taut over a skeletal frame, its eyes, two glowing embers of malevolence, burned into their souls, sending waves of terror crashing over them. It moved with an unnatural fluidity, gliding towards them, its silence more terrifying than any scream. The teenagers, paralyzed by fear, could only watch in horror as the grotesque figure advanced, its presence radiating an aura of ancient evil that chilled them to the bone. The air grew heavy, difficult to breathe, as if the very life force was being sucked from the room. Panic seized them. Liam, his logic failing in the face of such unspeakable horror, stumbled back, his voice caught in his throat. Maya, her intuition screaming at her to flee, grabbed Daniel's hand, her eyes wide with terror. They turned to run, their escape hampered by the darkness and the debris-strewn floor. The figure, its eyes burning with an unholy light, advanced relentlessly, its silence amplifying their terror. They burst from the manor, racing back into the relative safety of the woods, their lungs burning, their hearts pounding against their ribs. The whispers followed them, taunting them, urging them to run faster, to never look back. They didn't stop running until they reached the familiar streets of Ravenswood, the distant lights of their homes, beacons of hope in the encroaching darkness. Days turned into weeks, and the teenagers, forever marked by their encounter with the grotesque figure, returned to their lives. The memory of that night a haunting spectre that clung to them like a shroud. But their ordeal was far from over. One by one, they too began to vanish. Liam disappeared first, last seen walking home from school, his textbooks abandoned on the sidewalk, a single page fluttering in the wind. Maya was next, her laughter silenced, her vibrant spirit extinguished, leaving behind only a void of unanswered questions and a community teetering on the brink of despair. Then Daniel, the quiet observer, the keeper of their shared secret, vanished without a trace, his disappearance leaving an eerie silence in its wake. The town of Ravenswood, once a place of warmth and laughter, was now cloaked in an impenetrable veil of sorrow and fear, its streets haunted by the ghosts of missing children and the chilling whispers of the unknown. The authorities, baffled by the disappearances, could offer no explanation, their investigations leading to dead ends and unanswered questions. The woods, once a haven for the town's children, now stood as a silent testament to the darkness that had taken root in Ravenswood, their branches swaying ominously in the wind, whispering tales of loss and despair. The mystery of the vanished children and the teenagers who dared to seek the truth remained unsolved. A chilling reminder that some secrets are best left buried, some doors better left unopened. The whispers continue to echo through the empty streets of Ravenswood, a haunting chorus of sorrow and warning, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are destined to remain forever unsolved. Ravenswood stood frozen in time, a testament to the enduring power of fear and the haunting allure of the unknown. The laughter of children, once the lifeblood of the town, had been forever silenced, replaced by an oppressive silence that clung to the fog-laden air. The woods, once a sanctuary, now stood as a grim reminder of the darkness that lay hidden beneath the surface, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers, forever grasping for the souls that had vanished without a trace. And so, the town of Ravenswood remained, shrouded in shadow and sorrow, a place where the boundary between the real and the supernatural had blurred, leaving behind an unsettling truth. Some mysteries are not meant to be solved, some doors are not meant to be opened, and some places are forever bound to the shadows. Their stories whispered on the wind, a chilling reminder that even in the brightest of days, darkness can lurk just around the corner, waiting to claim its next victim.